Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Saturday. Slow Saturday. We are flatlining. No big deal. This is typical on a Saturday if you're new to the space. We don't get any volatility, so we were expecting not to move either way. Bitcoin's current price is the same as yesterday, 90,597. Great. Altcoins, however, sometimes they do tend to move if something specific is going on. Monero is up 5%, Hyperliquid is down 2%. It's at a very good area that I was considering for purchase, and I might, but then there's also other stuff going on geopolitically that I think are just going to crash markets, mainly the war in Iran. It keeps on escalating. We're getting casualty numbers come out, people that have been killed, the protesters, or revolutionaries, I guess people want to call them now. Those people are getting killed by the own Iranian officials. So it's not looking that good over there, right? They're on high alert, max alert, expecting a potential strike soon from the United States if they do tend to get involved. And they, like I said, the United States is pretty sneaky with their tactics. We don't know when or how they are going to attack. The pizza indicator is at an all-time high at the Pentagon, if you know what that is. And so it's pretty difficult to kind of predict what exactly is going to go on over there. It could be a whole nothing burger. We don't know. But I don't know if I want to roll the dice. I think I still will. Because what if it all plays out perfectly? Right? And I'm also getting good signals. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. We'll talk a little about the Canadian healthcare and the amount of money we love to donate, as well as some other crypto-specific news, mainly Grok's predictions on what Bitcoin would do this year. We'll be talking about all that, so it should be a good one. Well, like I said here, Bitcoin has not really moved as much. I've already mentioned great area of accumulation. Anything below 90,000, I'm already in, so I'm kind of positive, kind of negative, in between. It's really, really ominous to have your position right there in the middle. It's honestly a 50-50 from here. If I win, I win. If I don't win, whatever, I'll just buy more. And I think I really want to buy more right now. After the price obviously has gone up, I want to buy. Yes, I know. How crazy is that? No, but really, apart from the fact that we could all blow up and die, I think we're going to have a really good year. We're expecting a lot of liquidity. We're expecting things to... Hold on one sec. So, anyway, we were expecting a lot of liquidity to come into the markets. A good Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell that will cut the rates. A lot of good stuff we're expecting for this year. So, what do we do from here? I'm still going to be accumulating mainly Bitcoin. I'm not going to touch altcoins too much. If they do start getting a good rally, then obviously I will ride the wave. But for the time being, I'm staying out of a majority of them. I'm still going to be trading them, obviously, with stop losses. But like buying and holding like I've been doing, I'm not going to really do that much of that anymore. All right, moving on to Ethereum. 3092, same deal. Flatlining here, great area of accumulation. Anything below 3075, I would say is a good area of accumulation, which we have poked a little bit below over there. It did give you some chances. I didn't want to take it. I wanted a bit lower. But that's me just being ultra picky. And I've already got an open position with Aptos, which is somehow in the green. We'll also have a look at that soon. Honestly, for like supports or resistance levels, kind of difficult as well to determine. A war is just going to crash everything and break any uptrends that we do have and head lower. Otherwise, if nothing does happen, or if something does happen, but it's not as bad as we hoped, then, you know, we could end up rallying from it. Like, for example, whatever happened with Venezuela. Yeah, it was a surprise move from the Americans. But overall, it ended up benefiting the crypto market specifically. I don't want to say specifically. Other markets also benefited from it. Mainly the oil industry, like the oil companies. But for crypto, it was because of the fact that Venezuela might have 600,000 Bitcoin, not oil, as we've discussed, right? And Seizing that amount of Bitcoin takes it out of circulation. We're taking all their oil, we're also taking all their Bitcoin, and we will keep that forever with us so that that Bitcoin gets taken out of circulation, more scarce, price rises, etc. You get it. Okay, so I mean, obviously you do have a support for Ethereum at 3,000, but other than that, if nothing does happen or if things go fine, we should continue rising, and we're going to have to wait for pivot levels, of course, to see where our resistance levels would be for Ethereum. Solana, flatlining around $136.16. Super trend is on the rise, meaning that I no longer believe that this is a good area of accumulation. That was to be expected. Whatever. It did hold up pretty strong, so good for it. What do I think? We're now 130. 130 is the area that I would expect. A drop on Solana, if that does happen, I will be buying at 130 is what I'm trying to say. If we are able to sustain it, of course. If we get like a good swing at about 130, I might have to enter a little bit higher, depending, right? If we get confirmation that this uptrend will continue, yeah, I'll be riding that wave. But I want it to retrace a little bit to around 130. No longer is it going to be 126 where I was expecting before. These levels are old for this week. Super trend is already on the rise. We're probably going to get a new pivot level around 130, my estimate. And it's also a psychological area, so that's the level that I pay most attention to. Although it is a volatile coin, and if it crashes, it crashes. We're going to 120. So keep that in mind as well, if a war breaks out. SUI is at 180. Same deal over here. I'm expecting this to start rising soon. I don't know. We're flatlining over here. It's kind of hard to tell. Same deal. Everything's 50-50 right now specifically. The rise could take us at $2 as we've discussed, and it's still the same dollars as Aptos. Aptos is somehow outperforming. Okay, no, this is normal actually. Aptos is supposed to outperform SUI when we compare the two. They shouldn't be the same price. Aptos should be like 1.5 times more than whatever SUI is worth. So if anything, comparing those two numbers, I would say Aptos is still more undervalued than SUI is. And SUI is pretty undervalued at these prices. So that should tell you something. I don't know. Grittier for your accumulation would be around anything below 172 for SUI. If that does happen, I don't know. We'll wait with new pivot support levels to see where that matches and if the super trend does rise. It's had a really strong rise, so one thing to pay attention is don't be afraid if the super trend kind of invalidates itself. Might retrace to like maybe 150 and then continue rising. Like that kind of thing might happen. A false little breakout kind of deal. So it's important to pay attention to that. But we're going to have to wait for time to do its thing. Hyperliquid, we did the thing. Right exactly on that super trend line is our lowest generational entry opportunity. It really looks like it from here. I'm going to take the risk. I think I'm going to do it. Stop loss where I plan to put it is anything below these levels. Lowest we hit, ignoring of course this low of 18th of December. Who cares about that? We're worried about the 20th of December because it's the 20th of December. Come on. No, honestly, like the real reason is because apart from this low, I don't want to put a stop loss all the way down here. What's the next low? It's these lows over here. The support level at 2350, I think you could call that. So I'm probably going to put my stop loss at 2340. Give it enough breathing room, if that hopefully is enough breathing room. Hyperliquid one was one of the later coins to do their breakout of whatever downtrend it had to have a positive trend. And I don't know what you call this chart pattern, but it's just been in this continuous staircase, perfect downfall. But I do feel like this should slow down around here. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, it'll hit with a stop loss. But if I'm right, I'm going to be super right. Very right. And I think I'm going to take advantage of that. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's do it. Stop loss we're looking at 2340. We're wanting to risk about 50 on that. So I'll do what is that number? 595. Nope. 590, 580, 70, sure, 570. Go long, yes. There you go. And I'm worrying about the take profit in a sec, don't worry. First, I want to delete this because I hate the way that puts this stop loss. It's annoying. You prefer to put position stop loss. So what did I say again? I already forgot. 23.40. That's the $50 risk. And a take profit. I'll have a look at that now. Get out of here. What are we thinking? This is way too ambitious, of course. A 1-to-7 risk-reward ratio. Probably not going to happen. 1-to-3 would give you over here to 26.29. I like that. Let's do that. 26.29, 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio. Makes 150. Pretty possible. If this is the low, if I'm able to time this perfectly 100% correctly, this should be the lowest point and we should rise from here, a movement sort of like this. I don't know by when, surely, hopefully sometime in this upcoming week, of course. So we'll see how it goes. There's my current trade open for Hyperliquid now. So I have one with Aptos, Bitcoin, Hyperliquid. Ignore the rest. Those were from very far before when I was dumping thousands, when I had the thousands to dump in there and not bat an eye. Now I do care about it. Although I don't think I should start caring about it too much. It will be generating income at last with my new job. So God willing, everything goes well. We'll be able to dump thousands back in there like it's nothing. Okay, what else we got? BitTensor on the rise as well. Supertrend is also on its way up. Probably going to flatline at 250. We didn't get the drop we wanted. Also, one of the strongholders. Same as we saw with Sui, Solana, and not Aptos, but some other one maybe. I think Chainlink. We'll look at Chainlink. Yeah, Chainlink also holding decently strong, right? Not too close to the uptrend and validation area, right? Holding this pivot support at 13. So that's good for Chainlink. Back to Hyperliquid though. Resistance you have at 300. And yeah, I'd look for anywhere close to 250. 250 something to be buying into BitTensor if you want to ride the uptrend. That is only if things do go well, of course. If there is no war and things continue as normal. We have a big week, of course. A lot of people, leaders visiting the United States, or at least going to have some form of a meeting with Trump. Gustavo Petro from Colombia, that's happening in February. I should have written all this stuff down. Maria Corina Machado is sometime next week, and same with the current vice president / president of Venezuela. I forgot her name, Delcy Rodriguez. I hope that's right. So that's happening. We're getting Clarity Act. We're getting Supreme Court tariff decisions. It's going to be a volatile week. If we get some volatility in our favor, it's going to work out really well for us. And if it doesn't go in our favor, that's what the 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio is. You don't risk too much, and your reward is a lot greater. So I do think I want some exposition to that. Or we could also just bomb Iran, and that could also nuke our portfolios on the other hand. So whatever happens, volatility next week guaranteed. I'm sure what other economic data are we getting, if any? So far nothing. Inflation rate, okay, we kind of know that it's around 2%, right? Our expectation for now, we're expecting it to rise. Year over year at 2.7% inflation. The Trueflation metric was close to 2% that we saw. I don't think it's going to rise that much. CPI is also there. PPI. Okay, so we're also getting inflation data next week, which, yeah, it's gonna do something. We already have it priced in that we will not be getting a rate cut this January. That rate cut decision is happening end of the month, January 28. Yes, January 28. And that's a couple of weeks from now, so we don't got to worry about it. But, you know, we're worrying about the economic data we're getting. The inflation that's happening, it's Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, we're getting the PPI side of it. Tuesday, we're getting the CPI and core inflation rate itself. Okay. That's good. Is it really good? It's going to be a volatile week next week. Just keep that in mind. If you take anything out of this stream, just know that next week will be very volatile. Monero might just go ahead and make a new all-time high for absolutely no reason. It's currently on its way up. 480. This is a new local top. No, almost. Our local top was 500. Obviously, we do have a resistance there. What downtrend? We do not have a downtrend anymore. So uptrend continues for Monero. I love how we're in an uptrend and I didn't even draw the line for it. It's obviously going to look something like this. Let me go ahead and do that. Bad technical analysis. I know. Something like this. There we go. I like it. Supertrend is also following that. So that just further validates, yes, this is the uptrend that we're seeing from Monero right now. Lovely. Current price 480, like I said. We do have a resistance here from pivots. Would we really have to pay much attention to it? It's obvious the next level is 500 from here. I don't know how high we will be able to go, or if we will be able to keep up, because the momentum, in my opinion, is kind of dying out right around here. RSI is at 70, meaning it's overbought at this level, and we have encountered a resistance over here. I know we're currently right there, so this could just continue rising and it could be blabbing for no reason, but from what I'm reading on the charts, expectation is should slow down a bit over here where we currently are. It's also Saturday. What are we doing? This should not be rising. Don't trust the Saturday or Sunday pumps, of course. You'll get a big fat CME gap in 2026, which is crazy. Did I even talk about Chainlink? It's still holding above 13. Didn't drop to this area that I wanted, 1250. And until then, I will do nothing about it. So that's all there really is to Chainlink. But it's so far got its uptrend still. We're focusing on hopefully this being the lower high. And obviously the next higher high would be something like this. I don't think I'm going to risk the trade like that, though. I'm going to wait for potentially a lower drop over here. It might be naive of me to think of this. I don't think it's going to happen anymore. It's just holding too strong. So has been Solana, Sui, and Tau, right? So there's that. Aptos, my position is still open here. It's painful as well. I'm seeing it go positive, go negative, but overall positive for now. It almost hit my stop loss at one point, but we put it in a tactical area. No big deal. I still expect this thing to rise at least to 194. I do expect us to once again retest that resistance of $2 and potentially head higher because this thing is really undervalued. So yeah, uptrend is still valid, so I'm gonna just do that. Looks okay. Great. And this obviously, like, the structure of this could still match and continue going, right? This is like the definition of an uptrend. And as soon as you approach this uptrend line, sure, you do run the risk of this thing invalidating itself and heading lower. But what is the reason for that? A war with Iran? Come on, get out of here. This thing is meant to continue rising according to technical analysis, not financial advice. So I'm just trying to take advantage of that kind of move. So that's what I see with Aptos. Even now, still a good area for entry because it hasn't really taken off yet. And once again, not financial advice. This is going to go wrong and it's going to go all the way down. We're going to this liquidation price over here because we're going to war with Iran. Okay, great. That's all we have for the technical analysis of the coins. Let's go ahead and get into our geopolitical news. In terms of news itself, there hasn't been many new developments, but there's still stuff to talk about. Some new stuff that came out. I know I'm saying there's nothing new, but there is new stuff. Okay. Stuff that I haven't really covered. I did cover a lot of this stuff. Dude, you know what? Let's just get into it. So, the US tankers headed toward the Persian Gulf. We've heard extensive talks about this. I have covered this as well. The refilling oil planes, whatever you want to call it. The fuel refilling planes heading from the UK. All of that is happening. Why is it happening? We're seeing this and we're screaming World War III because we're seeing all these US tankers and C-17s, the military transport aircraft, heading to the Persian Gulf. But what is actually going on? What we're seeing is deterrence, posturing from the US, the military equivalent of cracking your knuckles at the bar without actually swinging. Just like to show a bit of power, right? Maybe part of capturing President Maduro was like that, to also put the fear of God in Ayatollah, right? To make him be like, look, man, we can capture the president of any country that we want. You're probably next. We literally threatened a bomb on your head last year. Do something about it, right? Or what are you going to do about it? He's probably going to flee to Moscow. Watch the ships, not the tweets. This is deterrence until someone can confirm it's not. So we don't know for sure what the purpose of these tanks are for, if it's just for show or if they're actually going to go to the Middle East for military purposes, to do some military action. The guy is trending right now, Khamenei. Is there anything new? Other than stuff I've already looked at. Oh yeah, the Iranian girls. By the way, one of the girls that I showed you, apparently that was like an old video from 2022 that was filmed in Canada, by the way. Why do we have Iranian women in Canada? No, I'm kidding, of course. We have plenty of Iranian people. I think it was in Montreal or Quebec. Someplace Quebec. There was a lot of Iranian protests as well. Okay, I don't know if we want to show this, but yeah. This kind of stuff is going on. The IRGC is now hunting Starlink signals. So we've heard extensive talks about Elon Musk helping out the Iranian people by giving them free internet when the government has banned it. Iran shuts down the national internet. The hunt for Starlink has begun. Unauthorized satellite internet is now officially classified as a threat to the state, they've now done. Possession is treated as a security threat, not a tech violation. During the blackouts, any live connection stands out. Oh, so they can easily hunt you, I guess. If they figure out that you're somehow connected to the internet, that's no good. When fiber and mobile networks go dark, a Starlink Wi-Fi signal becomes a homing beacon. When Starlink is activated during protests, they mark locations the state assumes are operational. Searches are escalating, checkpoints tightening, informants activated, hotspots are treated as hostile cells, and the cost is brutal. They don't like you using the Wi-Fi to show the world what is going on in Iran. Middle East is on high alert. Iran strike prep active. The Israeli intel reports that American bases across region elevated to high alert over Trump's Iran intervention plans. The Pentagon pizza that we've talked about. ISIS strikes tonight. I did not hear about that. Bases positioning. The machine is running. The question is when, not if. That's true. We don't know when this is going to happen. We know it will happen. It's all the evidence is pointing towards it. Lots of bets on Polymarket. The Pentagon pizza thing. It's all pointing towards it. Khamenei puts Iran's top military on maximum alert as well. Iran's supreme leader has handed the crackdown on protesters to the IRGC because the regular army and police are buckling. We've already seen that as well. Even the police are joining in on the riots, right? They understand it's not a religious thing. It's more of an economic thing. And that's why the whole country is involved in this revolution. Reports say officers who refuse to shoot protesters, they are the ones now being hunted down and arrested by the regime. It is more on edge than it was during the last year's war with Israel. Even Iran's underground missile sites are now on standby. So that was another issue as well. The fact that there is massive clearing operations underway by the IRGC and the Islamic security forces across all major Iranian cities. In Tehran's Takhti district, regime forces opened fire on anti-regime protesters. It seems like they're being ordered to just kill the protesters, which is not what you want to do, because if you do that, then Donald will get involved, and you don't want that. An Iranian doctor says that at least 217 protesters have been shot and killed in Tehran only. This is in the capital of Iran. 217 people. Some people are disputing these numbers. Last time we checked, it was 35. Now it's 217, and this is only in one city. It seems like those numbers are increasing. And yes, I am also seeing, you could easily find videos of, like, I don't want to say it, but there is like people that have been shot and killed on the floor while this is all happening. This is why they don't want people to have internet access, because they don't want these videos circulating around, but it somehow gets around, and once it's on the internet, it doesn't come out of it. So now the numbers are also estimating, and by the way, that's only one doctor that says that. We don't know. How does he know those numbers? There's also this conservative estimate. The most cautious estimate suggests that at least 2,000 people have been killed across the entire country of Iran in the past 48 hours during the ongoing protests. That is a lot of people. How much is too much? people are calling on on President Trump to just get involved, fix this issue, because that's literally what Trump said. If you start killing these protesters, we're going to get involved. And I don't know, Khamenei is probably going to flee soon. Pete Hegseth reposted this post on Truth Social by Trump, saying that Iran is looking at freedom, perhaps like never before, and that the USA stands ready to help. There you go. 28% chance US strikes Iran by January 31st. Dude, I would bet even sooner than that. And this is such a low percent chance. Oh, no, it says 48% chance. Okay, it's a 50-50 then. Do you guys remember that Polymarket insider, IDF insider, that accurately predicted the strikes on Iran last year? Rico Suave 666, he is back. He tried to, of course, sell off and undo his trades and change his username as soon as he got caught. He went viral for doing this insider move. Well, it seems like he's still betting on it. We'll talk about this. His name is now Run Deep on Polymarket. He didn't sell his positions, he simply created new accounts. This guy tracked them down. First, after Rico Suave 666 was initially discovered, the account owner changed the username to Run Deep and created a new empty account with that same username, Rico Suave 666, with no positions. The profile under the new username, accessible by wallet address in case he changes his username, is that at present, the account maintains a net profit of $154,000. His newly discovered, previously undetected accounts are listed below. Most of his positions were on the Israel strikes Iran buy theme. Why do you know so much about the subject and a high volume of trading as well? Very suspicious. After he was discovered, he sold all his positions, only to buy them again from other accounts. Those are his other accounts, me with a bunch of E's, and Augsburg F. Clover. I don't know if that's actually his name. Suspicious. From the Run Deep account, funds were withdrawn to a different address. They were transferred to another address and then another address. All of these accounts and wallets belong to 6ifka_eth. The X account is now deleted. He even deleted his Twitter. Despite the X account being deleted, it was still possible to find out a few things. The Israeli insider really is originally from Israel. Thanks to Grok, it was possible to find the account of a certain Idogur, who is from Israel and works as a TV host on a sports channel. Judging by a fragment of their correspondence, he's probably personally acquainted with this insider trader 6ifka_eth. They've been talking back and forth on Twitter, and this guy is a TV host from Israel. Does that make him an insider? Doesn't think so. To me, it looks more like a gambling person who, by virtue of his background, is simply better informed about the plans and actions of his home country. Now that you know this information, are you going to copy trade his bets as well? Well, I will not, me personally. But yeah, that's been a thing. I think he is an insider. I don't know. This is too suspicious. Moving on, or maybe just crazy good trade. There's reports that the president of Iran, separate guy, not the Ayatollah, the president of Iran has submitted his resignation letter to the supreme leader. Based on his comments in recent days and the fact that he's only been president for months, I wouldn't be surprised if this is true. Keep in mind the last president of Iran was hit in a decapitation strike from Israel. That happened last year, I think. Yeah, it should have been last year when they did the attack on the nuclear bases, and the US also got involved. Okay. So, President of Iran probably resigning. It's only rumors, not confirmed. The protests tonight have reached a whole other level. I'm hearing reports that there's over 200 protesters dead. We're trying to confirm that. If true, the odds for the regime, what is this? The odds of the regime collapsing have just skyrocketed. Yes. Reminds me of the shocking speed of the fall of the Assad regime. That's also facts. So, yeah. Not looking good for Iran, but there you go. Even here on Twitter, everybody's just accepting, yeah, they're going to have a regime change soon. X, Twitter, has officially changed the Iranian flag emoji. Remember with the two swords thing that I showed you? Now it's back to the lion and sun flag instead of the Islamic Republic flag. Now you can't see it on your phone, I think, but on the web version and maybe even on Android, you can see the sun lion, sorry, in the flag again. It's a symbol of the Iranian monarchy's strength and ancient heritage, used officially until the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Nice. Okay, moving on from this. Well, not really. Talking more about Venezuela here, just touching on the subject because of the weird tactics that the United States is using. They're pretty unpredictable now, and we don't know what they're going to do. Apparently, when they were infiltrating Venezuela and going to capture President Maduro, this came out, and I'm going to read all this. I want to see which part. How was the main attack? The security guard was interviewed here from Venezuela. Get out of here. There were drones, there were helicopters, and from those helicopters, a very small number of soldiers came down, but they were very technologically advanced, and it doesn't look like anything we have fought against before. Hey, alien technology, maybe? I'll explain what I mean. They said, the battle began? Yeah, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance against a small amount of people. They were shooting with such precision and speed. It seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute and we couldn't do anything. What about your own weapons? No, they didn't help, because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point they launched something. This is what's important. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. What about your comrades? Did they manage to resist? No, not at all. Those 20 men, without a single casualty in the United States, killed hundreds of us in Venezuela. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. Alien technology. They're probably going to use that in Iran now. And at midnight. Who knows? They're probably attacking as we speak. Interviewer says, so you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting the Americans? And he's like, yep, without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with. Interesting. And then I think this video just yaps on for hours. Well, so do I, so respect. Moving on. So, Minnesota lady, Renee Good. We have new footage. Yes, I know, it comes out every day. I'm starting to think that this is all just AI now. Here she is blocking the road and dancing. You see her, like, bouncing her shoulders from side to side. It just further indicates, like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you there? You basically had it coming. I'm sorry, but you're putting yourself in the front line of law enforcement work, and you expect nothing to happen. POV, you find out your actions have consequences. You know what's something crazy? And I'm surprised at myself that I didn't know this. I didn't know that George Floyd also died in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the fact that they were the deaths of each other, this is where George Floyd died, and this is where Renee Good died. They're pretty close, a couple blocks away. Interesting. And the fact that they are now being used as like the token... what do we call it? The token 2026 left protest person. Is that the right way to say it? You get what I mean, right? Yeah. Pretty interesting. So, and then I don't know what this is. What's going to happen in this green circle now in between the two? Who knows? Maybe we get nuked in that area. Anyways. Canada. We love Canada. Bank of Canada says that we must expect a lower standard of living. Carney says that we must sacrifice the way we live. Why? Well, Ottawa reports that they have sent $2.1 billion to Ukraine, which happened a couple weeks ago. It was awesome. I'm in full support of that. Not really. I'm totally against that. I'm against all of this whole list. 165 million to South Africa, 172 million to Haiti, 164 mil to Bangladesh, 151 mil to Gaza, 104 mil to Pakistan, 115 mil to Ghana, 106 mil to Nigeria, 107 mil to Kenya. And this is only from 2023 to... Wait, what? 2023 to 24? I'm sure we gave more money to Ukraine then. Total foreign aid, $12 billion. The math does not add here. But I'm sure it's... we're excluding a lot of other stuff. It's enough to fund every Canadian food bank, $5,500, with $2.2 million each, if the math is... okay. But sure, Canadians just need to pay taxes, face inflation, lower the standards, and tighten their belts. Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. That's been going on. Edmonton has also got really bad healthcare. We've talked about it before. The man who died because he waited 8 hours to see a doctor and he just died in the emergency room because it's pretty bad. It's still happening. Alberta emergency physicians are urging the provincial government to declare a healthcare state of emergency as hospitals across the province struggle with severe overcrowding. Doctors say emergency departments are overwhelmed with patients facing dangerously long waits for care and warn that hospitals are currently unable to consistently provide safe and timely treatment due to capacity pressures. But hey, we can euthanize you if you're depressed, so at least there's that going on for you. Another man in Edmonton, for example, he found an injured person with a broken foot outside his shop. They called an ambulance. Took longer than 20 minutes for an ambulance to arrive. It didn't even arrive. So the guy just had to drive him to the hospital himself, leaving him frustrating and eroding his trust in the emergency system. There's no trust in the system at all. None whatsoever is what he says. Some people argue in the comments, you got a broken foot, you don't need an ambulance for that. To which I would think maybe if I broke my foot, I would want to not walk to a hospital. I'd rather get driven there. And if I am alone, I'm going to have to call an ambulance for that, right? Isn't that how emergency systems work? So that's been going on in Alberta, mainly, the province there. I'm sure it's just as bad in every other province. Who knows? I haven't read reports about that yet. Currently, I am not focused on it, so I'll have to see if I dedicate time to debunking more of these. Not really debunking, just talking more about them and seeing if they're actually true. The Telegraph reports that the UK government has held talks with like-minded countries, which include Canada and Australia, about a coordinated response to ban X. That's it, we're getting a Twitter ban. I did see a counter-argument to this from the beloved Anna Maria Paulina Luna, or whatever her name is. What do I even look up to find it? She was planning to sanction the UK if they did ban Twitter. I don't know why they want to ban Twitter. What, you don't want the truth getting out, or you're just... This is Streisand effect, isn't it? Is it Streisand? I'm pretty sure it is. Where, like, you try to suppress something and more people end up talking about it. Anna Maria Paulina Luna. Is that even her name? Here she is. Anna Paulina Luna. No, it's not Anna Maria, sorry. It's Anna Paulina Luna. X. Okay, that's gonna be really helpful, isn't it? Here she is. Here she is. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So we did hear reports, and this came out a couple of days ago, 2 days ago. Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of UK, threatens to ban X in Britain. All options on the table. And it's also their hate speech laws that they have. It's a little too extreme. You will repost anything based on Twitter and you'll get a knock at your door and get arrested by the cops, which is really cringeworthy in my opinion. But Anna Paulina Luna, there's no Maria. Why am I thinking of her name as Maria? If Starmer is successful in banning X in Britain, she said that she will move forward with legislation that is currently being drafted. Why do I not follow her? To sanction not only Starmer, but Britain as a whole. This would mirror actions previously taken by the United States in response to foreign governments restricting the platform, including what happened in Brazil, which we talked about. Remember that? People were using VPNs to get around. It was getting crazy, and they were getting fined until eventually they lifted the ban. It resulted in tariffs, visa revocations, and sanctions and consequences tied to free speech concerns against Brazilian officials over concerns related to censorship and free speech violations. So censorship as well happening in the UK. It's probably not going to go well for them. Same thing as Brazil. Brazil had to end up giving up and allow Twitter to be legal there, right? Starmer should reconsider this course of action, or there will be consequences. But like we just discussed in the post before, seems like Canada, Australia are also about to get involved in this Twitter ban. There are always technical bugs during the early phases of new technology, especially AI, and those issues are typically addressed quickly. X treats these matters seriously and acts promptly. Let's be clear, this is not about a technical compliance. This is a political war against Elon Musk and free speech, nothing more. I agree. Don't ban the Twitter. What would we do if Twitter got banned here in Canada? Well, first of all, I probably would use a VPN to just get around it. But second of all, I'm not going to be able to do it obviously on every device because I also use my phone to look at Twitter and gather information there. But then how do I even use VPN? I'd actually have to pay for a VPN. I'm not going to do that. The only other option would just be to do the old school way. Look everything up on Google. Look up news like an old man. What are you, 80 years old? Or just base it off of all AI. But then at that point, why even watch my channel? Just go look at AI generated news and content. But whatever. Here I try to get a good blend, a good mix of everything as much as I can, as well as give my own personal special sauce in the mix, and my opinion on all this stuff. But yeah. I still try to say the most unbiased news that I can and bring the information to you guys. It also helps me, of course, stay more informed because I force myself to read news, stay informed, and, of course, as a trader, take action based off of all this stuff that I'm reading. Even though it's a bit contradictory, I'm reading that we're about to go to war, and, well, here I am going max long on Hyperliquid, but that's besides the point, okay? My actions are beyond your understanding. Moving on. Trump has called for a 10% cap on credit card interest rates for 1 year effective January 20th. This is good, in my opinion. Bad for the credit card companies, but hey, you're scum. You're charging us like 20-30% interest. And I've worked with like credit cards before, and no, do not ban me from using credit cards, but the interest rates are a little high. I've never had to deal with interest because I pay my bills on time, right? And I mean, even as a collector, I know the consequences of non-payment, right? I don't want to be partaking in none of that. So I do my stuff on time, right? Trump posted this on Truth Social saying, "Please be informed that we will no longer let the American public be ripped off by credit card companies that are charging interest rates of 20 to 30% and even more, which festered unimpeded during the sleepy Joe Biden administration. Affordability. Effective January 2026, I, as President of the United States, am calling for a 1-year cap on credit card interest rates of 10%. Coincidentally, January 20 will coincide with the 1-year anniversary of the historic and very successful Trump administration, the inauguration date of last year, basically. Thank you. Make America great again." We're going to see what happens on Monday, of course. That's when stock market reopens. What is going to happen to Visa, to MasterCard, to any other company that loans out credit cards? What other publicly traded companies are there? Capital One, Tangerine. Is that even a... No, dude, I don't know. These are Canadian companies. I guess it's just mainly Visa and MasterCard, the big two. Credit card company stocks won't be able to react to this major news right now for another 50 plus hours because... I mean, guess when this was announced? Yesterday evening. Trump knows, dude. He knows when to announce all this stuff. He knows, dude. So, either millions of credit cards will be canceled, or credit card companies are going to take a large hit. I don't get why they would be canceled. Maybe because they go out of business? I don't think they will. Come on, you guys make plenty from interest and over limit fees and annual fees and whatnot. It's midterm election season. Trump will let the former happen. Credit cards being canceled. Okay, so he does not want credit cards getting canceled. It just seems like credit cards are going to have to take this and smile about it. Oh well, good for you. If you own a credit card in the United States. I do, but I'm in Canada, so who cares? We're probably going to get a credit card interest rate increase, if anything. Did you know, like, it's really scummy. Like, they will increase your interest rate as soon as you start going past due, as soon as the interest is applicable to your account. Partially, right? You can get by making minimum payments and keeping that lower interest rate. From my experience, is like about 20%. But then, hey, God forbid you miss a payment or two, because that interest rate is rising to 30%. And yeah, that's when you get into heavy debt. But I mean, that's their kind of way of like being like, hey, don't be late on your payments, pay us back on time. So I understand why they do it, but it gets to a point where it's just a little too much, right? But anyway. Okay, moving on from that, Clarity Act, why it's been delayed, why it's been stalled. We'll talk about it a little bit. Understand that stablecoins are the future of the financial economy and are digital US debt, which is called money to most people, and will revolutionize how we transact and boost GDP, lower inflation, and catalyze massive growth and strengthen US dollar reserve currency status. The major bottleneck from bipartisan representatives passing the clarity and market structure laws, which will fully open the floodgates of crypto adoption, is coming from the same banking lobby that created Choke Point and has their foot on the neck of crypto since day one. Why? Because blockchains threaten banks. You don't need a bank with blockchain technology. They're fighting for their existence. I guess they're doing more of like a, if you can't beat them, join them kind of thing. Now, the detail of the latest fight. As we all know, banks have trillions in customer accounts earning 0% yield. Checking accounts, community banks, etc. Regular people are getting screwed by banks, which I agree with. You should never have your money in a bank. You should be investing that and growing it yourself, because otherwise they will take your money and grow it and invest it for themselves. And if anything, even if you do have like a savings account, you're getting like the most minimal percentage of that 0.01% or something stupidly low. So yeah. Stablecoins, they're currently digital dollars backed by US treasuries, we all know that, and they're producing a yield of 3 to 5% currently, something to at least outpace inflation or keep up with inflation, right? If you do, I guess, stake your stablecoins, rather than holding it in a bank where inflation will outpace your savings instead by having your money in the bank. They're fighting to not allow stablecoin holders to earn this yield. Why? Because they know if they do, trillions of bank dollars will drain onto stablecoin wallets. Who wouldn't want 3 to 5% yield versus a practically 0% yield on just holding liquidity? This is called deposit flight, and it's the banking industry's nightmare. There are currently compromising proposals being floated in the meetings over the weekend, like the Alsobrooks proposal, where they will compromise and allow staked or non-passive stablecoin to earn yield. But this is all the banking industry fight to survive. They will fight like dogs. So it's us versus the banks. It's our freedom and money and stablecoins versus the banks. I don't think the banks really like the stablecoin idea. What else did we get? The US SEC removes crypto from its 2026 priority risk list, which is good for crypto, meaning that crypto is no longer a risk. And CZ commented on this, which has a lot of people hyped, the fact that he believes a super cycle is incoming. But he also, his little not financial advice disclosure saying, I could be wrong, but super cycle is incoming. Let's hope. Here's some Grok ideas on what to expect. We asked Grok here, remove the asset that will perform the worst in 2026. Grok replies, I would remove gold. Based on forecasts, Bitcoin could see 100+% gains to maybe 169,000 in this year of 2026, driven by accumulation and cycles. I don't know about the cycle part, where we've broken any cycles that we've had. But gold's upside is likely to $5,000 an ounce, is about a 16% return amid stability. Sure. Can gold hit 5K? Absolutely. And it's probably going to be more likely to do so than Bitcoin. But, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin is the more riskier and more volatile asset, meaning that it will give you a greater return if it is indeed it's here. It's a 50-50 play, man. I'd absolutely take the 100 plus gain over a 16% almost guaranteed, not even guaranteed gain, right, for 2026. BTC has higher potential, not financial advice. Okay, well, thank you, Grok. What else we got from Grok over here? The fair market value for Bitcoin. This model says Bitcoin's fair value is at 194,000 by the end of the year, according to this chart. Who knows who made it and what it's pointing towards. It says Bitcoin is at 110,000. That is not correct. What are we looking at here? But they asked Grok either way, is this realistic? Grok replied that the current Bitcoin price is around 90,000, not 110,000. Predictions for end of 2026 vary widely. CoinGecko cites 60,000 to 250,000. Wow, thanks CoinGecko. Thanks for nothing. What, Bitcoin is going to go between 60,000 and 250,000? Okay, great. Just tell me like 0 to 100. Okay, you're telling me nothing with that. Although I kind of agree. In a worst case scenario, I understand what they're trying to say. 60,000 Bitcoin, sure. Worst case scenario, ultra bottom low point for Bitcoin bear market, 60. My opinion is 66,000, but yeah, 60,000 is fair enough. Versus ultra bull market. Did I say bull before? I meant bear. Versus ultra bull prediction is at 250,000. Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of trillions of dollars flowing in and out of gold. I don't think obviously all of that is going to pour into Bitcoin in one day. Obviously it's going to be over the course of time, and it's not going to be the same funds from gold. It's going to come from other places as well. But you know, the odds are in our favor. So maybe 250,000, sure. Changely sees potential for 150,000 plus. Some analysts predict volatility, possible dips to 50,000 or highs above 125,000. Hey, we do need that all-time high. A $194,000 fair value is optimistic, but plausible in a bull market, though crypto is unpredictable. Sure, dude. Here's another interesting one. Given so many credible analysts and experts missed their 2025 price target, provide a realistic assessment for an end of 2026 target, which removes the human sources speculation. Because we've had, you know, smartest IQ man in the world, Young-Hoo Kim, we had Michael Saylor, we had Tom Lee, all these analysts, all these Bitcoin bulls, predicting, of course, Bitcoin at 150,000 plus, at least by the end of the year. None of that came true. We ended up ending the year in the red, which is insane. Grok replied, based on quantitative models, halving cycles, stock to flow, ETF inflows from diverse sources like CoinGecko, Bitwise, Bitcoin may range 80 to 150,000 by the year end of 2026. Okay, so either we flatline and stay this way for the rest of the year, or we rise to 150,000, taking advantage of like all this bullish stuff that is going on that nobody is talking about or cares about for that matter. So I'm more optimistic for this year as well. Sure, 150,000, absolutely. Median is 120,000. It reflects post-2025 consolidation trends and institutional data, avoiding speculative opinions. Current price is around 90,000. Yeah, I kind of agree. Let's go to insider trades. Representative Jonathan Jackson just filed new stock trades. He bought $50,000 of Palantir, $100,000 of Shopify, and $50,000 of THC. This is 10net Healthcare, not tetrahydrocannabis or whatever you call it. It's not weed. Of the three, 10net is the most interesting. He's currently the only sitting politician who owns the stock. I've heard of Palantir, of course. I've heard of Shopify. I've never heard of 10net. I want to look at it, so let's look at it. And we'll also look at the other ones as well while we're at it. THC. What a ticker, am I right? It's already at a really high point in a weekly chart. I will not be buying this then. I mean, it looks like he thinks it might go higher. When did he buy this? And what does this even do? It says healthcare, health services, hospital nursing management. What are we expecting hospital care for? Ambulatory care segments and hospital operations. Okay. They have 9 Aspen facilities in the UK, headquartered in Dallas, Texas. Sure. Just seems like another healthcare company to me. Nothing too special. How is Shopify? How is... Let me go to a 4-hour chart first of all. I don't think I'm treating this too fairly. Like, ideally, sure, now's a great point to enter long if you're trading. Stop loss of being somewhere below 192. If you're entering currently at 201, I guess that could make sense. You got the weekly trend in your favor. You got the 4-hour trend in your favor. You're kind of in the middle over here with the RSI and the 4-hour chart, but honestly, you could still go for it. I'm not going to, though. I don't really trade stocks. I don't plan on trading this specific one. Did not spark my attention, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm going to draw this with, like, let's go 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. Would this be an all-time high? It would be. Hey, you know what? If you're in an uptrend and you're expecting to make an all-time high, go for it. We'll see how it plays out if I do ever remember in the future to come back to this. So either remind me or I will somehow have to remember. I will not remember. Moving on to Shopify. What are we doing here? Uptrend 4-hour chart. Possibly already like close to all-time highs. Yeah. 182 was our all-time high. 164 is the current price. Weekly trend is in your favor. Same deal. You could go long, so this guy did. Palantir. I think I have an open position in Palantir. No, I do not. I mean, yeah, sure. Palantir, especially in times of warfare, sure. You can't go wrong with that. Biggest buy was in Shopify, though. Interesting. Okay, well, there you go. Those are your new insider trades. We have more, but this one we can't really track. A Representative Lisa McClain just filed a purchase of up to $250,000 of the private stock of Elon Musk's XAI. McClain sits on the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Cyber Information Technologies and Innovation. U.S. military is currently using XAI's Grok. I don't even know how you could buy into the private investment companies, but she's doing it and she's betting on XAI. So we think Elon Musk will continue to get richer, of course. Moving on. We got hacked, guys. If you own Instagram, you've been hacked. Kind of. Depends. It's only 17.5 million accounts. I don't even think there's that many people on... No, I don't even think there's... That was all the people. How many people are on Instagram? Surely like a billion. Many people use Instagram. 2 billion monthly active users. That is crazy. Everybody loves their reels. So we got Instagram Data Leak exposes sensitive info of only 17.5 million accounts. It's like a lottery. Were you hacked or were you not? I don't think I was so far. I've been hacked before, but that was off my own fault. I fell for a phishing scam. How stupid, especially after graduating cybersecurity. How crazy. Anyways, a significant security breach has compromised approximately 17.5 million Instagram user accounts, exposing sensitive personal information, which is now circulating on the dark web. Hooray! The breach encompasses a wide range of personal information. It could put affected users at serious risk. Compromised data includes usernames, email addresses, phone numbers, and physical addresses. The combination of information makes users particularly vulnerable to identity theft, phishing, and social engineering. Great. Identity theft, of course, meaning that they open other accounts under your information. Phishing, what I fell for, they'll send you like a login page from Instagram to try to get your password. It's like identical, it's one-to-one, but it's not the real Instagram page. That's why you always got to check the URL or not click on suspicious links that people send you. I clicked on one because some freaking girl from my high school sent me like, hey, can you please vote for me for my school thing? I just need your vote and that's it. And you got to sign in with your Instagram account. I'm like, okay. I clicked on the link she sent me, put my Instagram information. And the way it works is it says, oh, failed, login invalidated or failed. So I'm like, hey, I'm putting in my password, but it's not letting me go in. He's like, oh, do you have another account? Go in. No, I did have an alt account, so I tried my alt account as well, which also got hacked. And I was trying like all my different. I'm like, am I really this dumb? Did I really forget my password and my username? I'm putting in my information, like multiple different combinations of passwords that I've used in the past and emails or whatever. And yeah, the hacker took advantage of that. I guess like it gets submitted in the back end. They keep the information. And then the next day I was getting kicked out of my Instagram account and I had to like submit Face ID verification to kind of get back in. And then I just ended up deactivating my account for like a whole year, waiting for the thing to blow over. They started posting like a bunch of Forex scam account. Hey, this trader made me so much money. Please contact this trader. And it was some freaking black guy from Montreal. So yeah, anyway, I ended up reporting it all, blocking that account, and resetting my password to something new. It was tough. Like, I actually, that day I had to reset every single password that I had because it was like I tried my email combination. And this is the day that I started changing up a bit, especially because that was after I graduated cybersecurity too, like I said. So it was a big issue for me. And I changed my password, a different password for every service that I use. So it's no, I used to just do the same email username for everything because I'm like, oh, I'm not stupid enough to get hacked. I don't go on any suspicious websites or none of that stuff. Hey, but something like that can happen to you, and it did to me. So there you go, little life lesson. And then social engineering, of course, just being like reaching out to people you know kind of deal to try to get access in a different way, right? Indirectly. Passing off as somebody else, passing off with your identity to like gain access to, I don't know, your workplace or who knows. Stuff like that. Okay, so there's that. Yep, the breach exposes a lot of data. There's another post talking about it. It was discovered this week by Malwarebytes. The stolen data, we already know. Stolen data is already available on the dark web, and some users have begun receiving real Instagram password reset notifications, indicating that there were active attempts to exploit the breach. So if you were impacted, your information is out there on the dark web already, and there are people just trying to hack into your accounts. I don't know why. Like, what are you going to do with an Instagram account other than just promote a scam? That's really it. And obviously nobody's that stupid to fall for a scam like a post that you made. Oh well. So there's that. And by the way, the girl that sent me that, she was she had already made a new account, but she hadn't followed me on the new account. And on that new account, she said my old account was hacked in her bio, right? So she made the new account. But on the old account, it still had like all her old posts, all her old, like we had old DMs and everything too. So I assumed it was just her. And it's happened with multiple people after that later on. I'm like, dude, it's an obvious scam. I just stopped. That's part of the reason why I stopped talking to a lot of people from high school. So, hey, if you're watching my channel now, I probably still love you, and I'm just scared. I'm a little nervous little boy. So that's why I don't talk to you anymore. But I'm still willing to talk, of course. Just don't scam me. How about that? I don't like getting scammed. And last, also, vulnerability that's been going on while we're on the topic of cybersecurity. Telegram also has a one-click vulnerability going around. A single click can reveal your IP address. When it comes to Telegram, that's a big issue because it's all about anonymity, right? Even if you use a proxy. So affects both Android and iOS Telegram clients. What is happening? An internal proxy can be disguised as a normal username, like any @username, right? Telegram shows no warning. It just looks like a regular internal click. So if you click on somebody's like like this on Telegram, you can get your IP address taken. Your IP address can reveal your geolocation and other information about your internet service provider, right? What happens next? The Telegram auto-pings the proxy before adding it. The request bypasses all configured proxies. Your IP is logged instantly. It's silent and an effective targeted attack. And here's just video proof of that happening. And if you don't know much about all this technical term, don't worry. It just means like don't click on suspicious stuff from suspicious people, and you'll be perfectly fine. Okay. Is it a vulnerability? Yeah, probably it could be. Either way, like, websites will always get your IP. That's how they know where you're located, right? That's why I have to use VPNs to bypass some stuff, but yeah, I just prefer using VPNs either way. So yeah, that's all the news I had for today. I still managed to go over an hour. That's crazy. So we are now long Hyperliquid, hoping, of course, for the best, hoping that this was perfect entry, lowest point possible. I could be wrong. I don't know. This could fall and overnight and end up losing the trade. Sure. Aptos is still doing fine. Bitcoin, I'm not concerned about at all. If it drops, I'll just drop a lot more money on it. Now that I have a way to source the funds, so we'll be good. And I'll only be DCAing into Bitcoin like this at 3x leverage, 1,000 at a time, any chance that I do get. Any good chance, of course. I'm just going to drop money on here because I feel like it. No, if I see a good entry, like the days when you see, I don't know, $200 billion was just liquidated in the last 60 minutes, obviously a fake number, but something like that. You see headlines like that, that's when you buy. Not really. You're going to lose more money. That's not financial advice, okay? But you get the point. That's when I tend to like bat an eye and be like, maybe now's the time to buy. Now that everybody's getting Omega liquidated, maybe now. I'm deleting these lines, these projections. I still expect it to rise, hopefully. Like, given that nothing bad happens, of course. But it's going to be a volatile week. If you do not like volatility, stay out of it. But I'm going to take advantage of the volatility, hoping that I'm right. If I am right, it'll pay off pretty well. If it's not right, whatever. It's just another trade lost. We've got plenty of opportunities. Time is infinite, and we can work with it to our advantage. Of course, not your time. You only have a limited time on the planet, but the time for trading, I mean, this is a 24/7 trading thing, so you're fine, dude. There will always be opportunities. Before we go, I want to find RSI heat map. What has been rising? What are we doing here? That's not Hyperliquid, that's something else. Zcash is very oversold, apparently. Okay. What is this? Piverse, someone cares about that. Beat, what even is that? Everything else is in the middle here. Monero is almost about to be overbought. Polygon exiting overbought territory. Same with Tron. What has been going on with those? I did see Tron rising recently. This is the rise. 30 cents. Somehow holding pretty strong. What is Justin Sun doing? He's obviously manipulating the charts to make it look like it's really good. Polygon, sorry. Oh my, look at this rise. Going from 9 cents to 18 cents. Hey, I have some Polygon. It's probably like Omega losing money right now. I think I entered at 40 cents. What do I even care? Oh, I don't even have Polygon anymore. Never mind. Really, I don't? Did it get liquidated or something? It probably did. Probably did. Did it actually get liquidated? I don't know. I'd have to check later. What did I do with the Polygon? Monero we just saw. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Justin Verse, sorry, not Justin Sun. I see you in the chat. Thanks, man. And yes, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll see if we ended up bombing Iran or not. Not that I'm expecting it to happen overnight. Maybe it does. It's unpredictable, like I said, but we'll have to wait and see. Volatile week nonetheless next week, so get ready.